What if Can-
But what if, chat? What if, in fact, Knakia got mad and invaded the United States of America? What if?
what if Canada got mad and
I will agree with people that say it looks hideous, but 100%, 100%. I will agree with people like that looks hideous. I agree. It doesn't look good. Like it's not aesthetically pleasing. My favorite is the some of the replies though. Because the Kim.com weirdo was like, wouldn't it be fun if Canada invades the US? And then it got posted. And then here's the response: Day of the Rake, the darkest day of horror the Leaf has ever known. Oh, oh my God. Yeah, good morning, Chad. Good morning. I'm just now finishing up chapter 12. We're 162 pages in now. Um, we got into the Revengi plot, so I figure I'll read what we've got now. Let me just find some way to finish off this chapter. Also, I wanted to say I've decided to redesign the fox, the werefoxes, a little bit, and it has to do with their tails and everything like that. So I wanted to make them a little more darker, more morally gray, right? Um, and it to be just a send our top guy, Jake the Rake. But I wanted it to be a little more morally gray. So what I had was kind of touching on a little bit of Eastern mythos when it comes to fox demons, and making it to where their cleverness has actually like usually leads them to the conclusion that like, well, if we just get rid of humanity, if we get rid of people, right? The humans, the dwarves, the elves, things like that, nature will be easier to protect. You know, it'll be a lot better and everything, right? You meant to type Nate. Yeah, I know you mean. I know you meant. Nate, the war hero. You know, it was him in the Fallout 1 video and everything. So says Emil. But yeah. So I wanted to touch on more of the darkness, a little bit more of the mythology of fox demons in the East, and make them a little more morally gray. Basically, because they're so clever, they lack a little bit in empathy because they're too busy trying to be like out clever each other, be smarter, sort of things like that, and they kind of lose sight of that. Like they're supposed to be the bridge between. And they just look at it as like, hey, we can fulfill the divine mandate if we just get rid of all the humans and the dwarves and the elves and everything. So a lot of them cause problems or like disasters and things like that to deal with people. That's why I decided to be like have the tales be indicative of how many they have done the ritual, like the ritual consumption of people. And that can still be a thing of like, we'll count the fox's tails when we catch it, sort of thing. To be like, we'll check how dangerous they are when we come to it. And so, like, I want it to be they're a lot more solitary. They don't really have packs or things like that. They're more like individual, like hunters and things like that. They don't really care for their offspring as much. Like, I'm not saying they totally abandon them, but they have a very like skewed perspective. And the one thing that the Wolverine don't like them, but they're still following the mandate. Like, it's one of the things where it's like, yeah, he's doing his job, but he's an asshole, right? That's the way the Wolverine and a lot of the shifters view werefoxes. They're like the Volpavan. They're like, okay, they're doing their job, but they're assholes. Like, they're following the letter of the divine mandate, not really the spirit of it. So again, that also fits in with Brightbeak back in Guardians of Nature, was talking about how werefoxes are too clever for their own good. But it becomes that whole thing of like, Mirax is like, do I want to do a reset on you guys or not? Because that's not fair. Because some of you get with the picture and everything, but and it's not like you're all being dicks. But sometimes werefoxes will actually turn into demonic foxes because they take their you get a little too much gusto in dealing with the mundane people. Alex knew. Oh, actually, wait, no. Let's tweak it a little more. Hang on, I think I just thought of something. We'll make it more the demonic foxes are the ones with multiple tails, because they will have done the ritualistic sacrifices, right? The ritualistic consumption of a victim. That could be the interesting. That could be the thing that shows it to be like, okay, it's got more than one tail. It's a threat. They're very much a threat. This is bad. That could work. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah. Woo. And sorry, like I said, I'm just trying to get this chapter here finishing. You. Uh, oh, chat. I'm trying because I don't like to leave chapters where they just kind of like drift off. I want to leave like kind of like a little thing like, keep it. Well, you want to get into the next one, right? Mm. Perhaps. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Sorry about that, chat. I said I was trying to find a good way to end it, and I kept going through and rereading it, and it's like, no, that's not good enough, and I'm taking it away. So let's see. So this is where we were at last time I had read to you guys. So let's do a little bit here, and then we will jump into some Dune, and I'm going to explain a couple choices we have, because we might move the base again. All right. He hastily threw his tattered overcoat over his body, made of a patchwork quilt of varying fabrics that had been hastily sewn together. It was the only skill he truly had left to him, and kept him in warmth on the cruelest of nights. Now it would hide him from prying eyes and suspicious glances. This rifle would be concealed, hidden against his body and beneath the stitchwork as if a long-lost love returned. It was an absurd notion, yet such was the bloodlust and malice within Connor that he was driven to cherish even poorly kept trash as a divine gift. This became even more the case as the vagabond of a man came around the corner of the sheriff department and spotted the rotund rat of a thing waddling across the road. He wasn't sure at first where the bastard may be heading until he took but a moment's thought. That scum was going to head to the bar, his bar by all rights, and by the sweat of his own brow. The bank had no right to take it, regardless of agreements and debts, nor did this ghastly monster have any right to purchase it after. It was his. Thus he settled his resolve and began to follow his prey. He would be the hunter, and the disgusting dwarf would befall his fury. It was all going almost too perfectly, as Harkis was clearly focused solely on getting to the bar as quickly as he could. No one else around cared to pay attention to Connor, for dealing with the man was considered an annoyance at the best of times. Across the first street they went. From here they traveled, a dwarf and a murderous shadow behind, down the street and taking the next towards the west. Across the street was the general store, yet past this was the bar, now named the Cold Forge. Even that was a sin that Harkis would soon pay for. Each step they got closer was that much nearer to his vengeance, and the taste of it was sweet sucre. Was a sweet sucre, to be sure. The moment approaching was making him tense up, but he knew he had to wait. If the dwarf found him and called out now, someone may well hear him and come to his aid. The town was filled with such vile turncoats that he didn't want to risk it. The bar door was open and the dead dwarf walked inside, and now is when Connor finally revealed the rifle and stalked towards. Let's do stalked forwards. Because I was doing towards the door, but we already mentioned the door. Inside, Harkis went into the back rooms of the bar to retrieve those precious items to him for his protection. He would need to get the secondary keys for the small armory he had assembled, though perhaps calling it an armory was a bit of a stretch. However, the main things he needed from it were the shotgun, body armor, and especially the silver stake. This stake being the key to it all, the wisdom in stone passed down to warn those that came after. Those who were mere facades of normalcy recoiled and writhed in agony from it, and thus it would safeguard him from the wolves. As he retrieved the keys from his office at the back of the bar, he came back out into the main room. As he entered, he had no idea that a greater threat was coming into the doors, until he was already in the middle and totally exposed. The doors swung open, and Harkis flinched as he looked to acknowledge what had entered inside and prepare to defend himself if need be. Yet such a defense was hopelessly dashed as he watched the vagrant of a man raise the rifle up. There was precious little time to react, and thus the dwarf turned to flee, gained distance, and, hopefully, reduced the accuracy of the town drunkard and menace. The rifle let out a belch of flame and recoiled firmly against Connor's shoulder as it sent its deadly payload across the bar. Harkis managed to get a few more feet and even threw a chair or two behind himself as if to slow pursuit before the sting of pain pulsed in his back and his chest bloomed as if a rose. He continued to move, one foot forward of the other, to make more distance before his stride finally broke and he slipped, falling not forward but back onto his ass and then slumping onto his face. Connor attempted to action the bolt, managing to eject the spent casing, but as he tried to chamber the next round, it did not cleanly strip from the internal magazine. Instead, the tip wedged into the locking recess, and the cartridge was compressed in on itself and thoroughly stuck. This brought a swear from the man who tried to jiggle the bolt free, now hung up on the rim of the deformed cartridge. No immediate solution could come to the dullard of a man, and thus he prepared to take the rifle in hand as one would a club. It was at this moment he heard voices coming from outside and people clearly approaching the bar. He had to think fast and began racing towards the back door of said bar. I can get rid of said bar. Yeah, back door. In his flight, he cast a disparaging glance at the fallen dwarf, who was whimpering and panting on the floor, seemingly unable to rise up or even move. His breaths were clearly labored, and he was even drooling some blood from his mouth. The shot had been a mortal blow, and thus he could take pride in that fact. He stumbled a moment as he ran into a chair, and in his fumble he cast aside the rifle. He had a brief moment of regret at its absence, but had to remind himself that he didn't need the rifle, and thus fled into the back hall, ran past the bathrooms and out the emergency fire exit. Whoever was coming to check on the bar would likely stop in shock at the bloody dwarf. Thus he would easily be able to get to the outskirts of town and rendezvous with his conspirator. Alex wrangled some others to assist in retrieval of the salt. After all, it would be a few pallets worth to make sure the entirety of the department was sanctified. To this end, and for expediency, he had David the Goothy, Corey Vander the deputy, and Derek the newly unveiled gravehound. Since the trip was a short one, he did not worry about the department coming under attack in their absence, and instead wanted to load up the pallets as quickly as possible and get them rolling back sooner rather than later. So let me get this straight. Salt does actually work? Like, I could throw table salt on a zombie or a skeleton and... Corey had several questions on their quick jog towards the general store, while Derek humored all... That didn't make any sense, sorry. While Derek humored all of them in stride. No, it needs to be sanctified first. Is that what the ash is for? Again, no. The ash is going to be used so someone can't simply wipe all the salt away. Be it accidental or otherwise. Think of the ash as an anchor or stitching to keep the thread of salt securely in place. Right, but you could sanctify table salt to work. Yeah, I mean, the purity of the salt is what's most important. So table salt could be sanctified and used. In fact, it would be rather effective. Why are you so curious about all this? Well, beyond it being something new and all that. Derek's nervous mannerisms were continuing through his speech. Actually, yes, I was curious if we could weaponize it somehow. Could we make salt pellets and use slings or slingshots? Could we get pouches and fling salt onto the necromancer's puppets and damage them? I'm afraid not. Now, if the necromancer is in fact not a necromancer, but something far worse, we could utilize salt in that regard. Otherwise, you won't be flinging salt on zombies and melting them. Although, well, it could actually disrupt their functioning. It won't destroy them or anything, but if we hit them with sanctified salt, they would lurch to a halt like a statue. So, while not a weapon in a traditional sense, but we could lock down areas easily. I can't believe I never thought of that. It's just the next logical step up from using the salt as a barrier anyways. Yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. I mean, look how long it took for someone to figure out putting radios inside our tanks or upside down ketchup bottles. It can be hard to look at what you have that works and think of making it work better, or to do something entirely different for a better result. I never thought like that. It was just, I guess everything starts from somewhere. It just feels like this should have been obvious. Alex himself had to nod his head, for such seemed reasonable from both perspectives. Though he was not directly involved in the questioning, it was still prudent to listen. After all, keeping your ears open was just maintaining awareness of your surroundings. The group finally made its way down to the next street and were heading towards the general store earnestly, even crossing into the road. This, like most things involving the spirits in matters of crisis, proved to have interesting timing, for as Alex opened his mouth to speak up, they could hear it. Further down the street was the unmistakable report of a rifle going off, which caused Alex to stutter his opening words and had the entire group turn to acknowledge it. You heard that? Derek began to speak now, but was cut off by Alex, who was already starting into his stride, sprinting towards the direction of the gunshot. Yes! The goofy David managed to keep pace, but Deputy Corey and Derek were lagging behind, but trying their best to keep up. As Alex neared the bar, he could hear a man scream out an obscenity, and thus made him call in turn, "Inside the bar!" Alex's entry into the bar was sudden and violent, as he smashed through the doors leading inside. With exceptional force, they swung open and protested with a loud crack as their hinges came to the extent of their travel. As he was making entry, he heard the racket and commotion of chairs being knocked around before his sight line was clear enough to see. There he saw the tattered coat disappearing around the corner where the bathrooms and fire exit would be, confirmation coming when the fire alarm resounded as the door was flung open. He did not need to pursue, for the ghastly scent gave away who it was clearly, and more immediately, the sound of gurgling and hissing came from nearby. Alex made no intention of subtlety as he threw chairs and tables to either side and made his way towards the sounds of the distress, while David followed right behind him in his wake, and the two laggards finally came inside. There the pair of wolves came across the body of a dwarf who was struggling with labored breathing. Before Alex could reach out and touch him, David grabbed his arm. "Wait. Listen and observe." Alex almost recoiled instinctively, but his rational mind caught up to his current thoughts, dominated by the moment. "Listen to the hissing sound and look at the way the blood is frothing at the wound. He has a sucking chest wound." David then turned his head and called out to the pair coming inside. "Get me a first aid kit now. Check the bathrooms and behind the bar." The deputy and the grave tender both gave their acknowledgments as the deputy raced towards the restrooms while Derek slid over the bar top. At the same time, David started to roll Harkis up on his side for a moment and nodded his head. "Okay, we have an exit wound. Slightly lower than the entry. I can't say for sure if a lung was hit. The sucking wound is preventing them from inflating fully." "How well trained are you in biology and medical matters?" The question brought a smile to David's face. "I was a fourth Talon, you know. I got a few degrees to help me understand and make better use of the healing gifts bestowed on me." Alex gave a nod of his head at the answer. It was good that David had put in the extra effort to better utilize the gifts given to him, for healing magic was nigh useless without proper understanding of the body itself. "Well, let me be the first to appreciate that fact. The fact you went above and beyond. I know a lot of gooth you feel overwhelmed and just let the spirit's knowledge channel the work." "Well, I appreciate your words. But we come to a quandary. This is the dwarf that the Damari was speaking of, correct?" Alex nodded his head. "Should we not let nature take its course? After all, he has been very hostile towards us. That hostility can affect others. We are trying to save as many in this town as possible, and such open defiance could we save him." Alex's voice was firm, and he looked directly into David's eyes. "I understand the risks. I understand he is a hassle at the moment. Yet we are to be the bridge between nature and people, between the mundane and the spirits. If he turns out to be a threat later, then I will accept the call as being ill-made. We are living on borrowed time as is. It gets harder to keep our kind secret. Perhaps this is me just justifying my actions already taken, but call this my first act as chieftain of this newly arisen tribe. David gave a nod of his head, and then slowly he reached down and began to whisper softly. His words called the spirits to his side and started to channel the warmth within his fingers. Harkus himself had listened. Even in his distressed state, he was desperately clinging to anything to stay awake and alive. Thus the words spoken resounded within his ears. Pain shot through him as a finger was pushed into the wound, and a sensation of pulsing heat went through his body. He could not muster the strength to do anything more than grunt as his lips began to turn blue. The raspy hissing of the wound continued, even air bubbles forming and popping at the exit wound. Even so, there was some relief as the warmth filled his lungs and he could at least get a little more air. Unbeknownst to the dwarf, the round had actually punctured a lung, on top of allowing fluid and air to fill the cavity around it. Though the pressure was not yet equalized, the Goothie began to withdraw the finger and let the entry wound seal itself with magic. Right. Now we can patch him the traditional way and let the doctors handle it. Or I could fix him entirely now. Fix him. We won't burden the doctors with another patient now if we can help it. Again, David nodded his head, and this time he placed his hand firmly over the exit wound, sealing it with the palm but not yet closing the wound. This made Harkus shiver in intense pain as the air still trapped inside was now pressurized even more and stopped his inhales. Soon, though, a warmth flooded over his body, and as the palm was raised, there was a sputtering sound as all the air within the cavity was drawn out until nothing but a hollow sound remained. The pressure funnel kept any new air from entering the wound, and a finger from the other hand was forced down into it. Just as before, it was drawn back. The wound sealed itself and healed, allowing Harkus to take a deep gasp of air. The sudden influx of oxygen sent him into a euphoric state, and his mind suddenly rebounded as if he had gotten hammered. His body tingled and shivered as sensation coursed through, and newly oxygenated blood was redelivered throughout the system, leading into an intense high. Just as the dwarf was starting to breathe and relax back with a sigh, Deputy Corey came running from the bathrooms with a medical kit in hand. Here, I got it. I can see that, Deputy. But our friend Alex here requested I use my gifts and treat the wound immediately and fully. Corey gave a strangely defeated look, as if he had failed in some task, but David stood and patted him with his still bloody hand. Patted him with a hand, because that kind of spoils the joke that's coming next. Relax. It isn't your fault. We can use these medical supplies back at the department anyways. Did you just wipe your filthy hand all over my uniform? Your filthy, blood-covered hand all over my uniform. David looked at the blood on his hand and retracted it quickly before offering an awkward smile and a quiet apology. It was only now that Derek returned to the group and shook his head. I couldn't find anything behind the bar, but I likely missed it, and not that it matters anyways, given, well, the situation had been diffused, though uncertainties were still abound of Harkus's intentions from this point on. For now, though, their quest to gather up salt had been sidetracked, yet thankfully they had managed to save a life. Perhaps in some small way, Meraxes was helping to guide them, and this intersection of events was part of a grander design. All they had to do now, though, was wait and see what would come of the dwarf, and if his fearful distrust would poison him further. After all, he was nearly murdered. Alright. And that's how Chapter 12 ends off. Chapter 12, Sabotage. Okay, yeah. Welcome, welcome everyone, and thank you very much, Mishima, for the membership. I forgot that's what they call it on YouTube, membership. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, as I said, I was trying to find a way to end off the chapter properly because I was honing and hawing on everything. And like I said, we've redesigned what the where foxes will be. I like the idea of the tails being tied into a human sacrificial ritual, right? Yeah, basically anti Boy Scout. Again, it becomes that obvious thing like if salt can act as a barrier to some supernatural entities like the undead, right? What happens if you take that same salt and you throw it on the undead? And it's like, well, it won't melt them or anything like that, but it will stop them. Like they won't function anymore. They'll stand there like a statue. So that in and of itself, while not a like weapon per se, stop them dead in their tracks. That sounds pretty good to me. Also, when Derek was talking about if they were something worse than a necromancer, aka if they were a warlock, so if they had demonic energies, then salt fucks up demons really bad, really really bad. Hence why, remember in the fight in Guardians of Nature, Jonathan was trying to drive the Hellhound into the ocean, and he manages to knock it back and basically tackle it into the sea. So then you have the water, which is starting to nullify the temperature, the heat of the Hellhound itself, and then the salt like burning it like severely, which is weakening it, allows him to rip its head off and throw it back on shore. Well, back on the pier. It's more accurate. It's not really a shore, it's a pier because they were at the docks. Ah, yes. The power of cheese. Oh, hang on a second. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So again, werefoxes, we are making them a little bit closer towards more Asian depictions of fox demons. Not in full, but essentially have be like foxes are a bit little too clever for their own good. They get a little bit less empathetic towards normal people. So they're much more like refined. They're tricksters to an extent because they like proving how clever they are, right? And so they'll use illusions and things like that to fool people, but they don't really have the same empathy towards normal people that you would expect. They are much more they follow the letter of the divine mandate, not the spirit of it, right? So they're more sticklers like it don't say shit about humans and elves and dwarves. It says nature, spirits, and the natural order. I don't gotta give a shit about these people. So essentially, it's like it's why the other shifters don't trust them so much, and the Wolverine don't like them because remember, Wolverine are wolves, so they're much more of a like social creatures to begin with. So there's a little more of that empathy within them, though they'll still like fuck humans up if they fuck around, find out, sort of thing. But there's more case of empathy there because they're much more socialized. And then you have multiple tailed foxes, werefoxes, and those will come from the ones that engage in ritualistic like consumption, right? Maybe it's just me, but the consumption of human souls happens more often and is not as horrifying in Japanese media compared to Western. There's actually a show, and again, I want to talk about this because this is what made me like start putting together a better idea for how werefoxes can be like they're on our side, but they're assholes, sort of thing, right? And fit in that whole thing of like we'll count the fox's tails when we catch it, which is a saying that a lot of the Wolverine have. We'll count the fox's tails when we catch it. AKA, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But there is a show called Hell Teacher, Jigoku Sensei Nube. And it is an interesting one because it's a little bit of a comedy, but it's an action horror, like supernatural show. And like one of the first things is there's a tantrum worm that got turned into a yokai by a fox demon. And it was used to infect a boy. The boy then would throw like violent temper tantrums and like even beat his father and put him in the hospital. And it turns out that the fox demon was doing it so he could then cleanse the tantrum worm from the boy and kill it, which would remove all of his hostility and anger because the fox demon was trying to engage in the final ritual of humanization. And to do the last ritual of humanization, he needs to find a perfectly shaped skull that he will harvest from a victim and then put on himself. And he became a doctor because he's like, well, I'll find a bunch of skulls as a doctor, right? But all of the skulls he looked at, all the patients, everything like that, none of them had the perfect skull. Until he accidentally bumped into this kid on the streets. And which is what caused him to do all of this, to observe everything, and cause this whole plan to go into motion. And there's some pretty fucking grim iconography in this show. Like, holy shit. Let's see. Hold on. I want to get to it. No. See, he's not doing humanization to gain magic powers. Humanization for fox demons, it allows them to be more human and start creating disasters, right? Like, that's what he wants. He's doing humanization so that he can further, like, become human, and then that will allow him to start creating, like, natural disasters and shit like that. Right? He's doing it to infiltrate and destroy. So, he's trying to perfect himself more. This is the fox demon, and he's got the boy. The boy is paralyzed and everything like that. He's basically killed the teacher, so he thinks. The boy's paralyzed, and he's performing the ritual now, and this happens.
完璧な陽子にはなり得ぬ。
This fucking kid, traumatized, like, for the rest of your existence. fucking traumatized. uh, Want to see a magic trick? Ah, it's gone. And so now he's gonna do the same thing to the kid's skull and pull it out, basically. Like, it's fucking grim. The show is pretty fucking grim. And it has, like, fun, there's a lot of fun, like, things it does, kind of like, they'll tell, like, a spooky ghost story, and then at the end of the episode... Hold on, let me just show that, because it's funny, right? So there's a guy who does, like, a YouTube... He does YouTube videos and live streams. He's called Mr. Horrific. And he starts spreading the tale of Tiki Tiki, who is a girl that a woman that got hit by a train and split in half. And horrifically, she managed to survive for a few minutes with her lower body removed. She crawled to the train and opened it. The conductor got scared out of his fucking mind and ran away, but she grabbed onto him. And she held onto him as he ran out into the blizzard and climbed up a telephone pole. And when the other engineer came back with a police officer, because they knew they hit a girl, there was no way they were going to be able to stop. Trains can't stop quickly. But they saw her coming towards the tracks, and he starts like, what the fuck? And he slams on the brakes, the thing's screeching, but she keeps walking and walking and walking, and thump. Train goes right into her. And they stop like a couple hundred feet after. They come, they look, there's blood all over inside. They follow the blood trail outside and up a telephone pole. They see the conductor who died of fright, like his heart gave out on him. And the woman was gripped onto his back with her entrails hanging out and everything. She was dead. So she turned into a horror story of Tiki Tiki. And he's like, Tiki Tiki will show up, and you'll hear the sounds of the railway crossing going, and she'll show up and ask if you need your legs, and then we'll rip them off of you, so that she can have them instead. So he starts this. She becomes a vengeful spirit because this legend is being spread around, so she can't rest. She can't rest because this slander is being said about her, so she's not allowed to go to the afterlife. So she actually engages in the exact thing she's being slandered by now. And then so the episode just ends with fun little things like that. And forget everything about her. Or if you don't, she'll pay you a visit. As soon as tonight.
足いるか?
Fun way, that's a fun way to end the episode. Fun way to end the episode. Because Mr. Horrific goes on a live stream, and she targets people that do this to her. So he goes on a live stream and he's talking about her. She shows up with a live stream and literally fucking kills him. In the middle of the live stream, she rips his legs off and everything. And all the live stream viewers are like, what the fuck? This is way too scary for me. This is way too scary for me. I'm fucking out, dog. I'm out. Peace. Bye-bye. Oh, but I like that, like, the storytelling thing and ending the episodes that way. It's a lot of fun. It is all in good fun. Yeah. So that's been a really fun anime to watch. And that's what kind of made me rethink how I wanted to do the Werefoxes and have them be like, they're a threat, but they're not really the bad guys. They're more just massive douchebags. So the Wolverine don't like them because they're not as social, right? They're not as pack mentality oriented, right? So the werewolves don't like them. And they're not breaking the divine mandate, but the problem is they're following the divine mandate to the letter, not to the spirit of it. So they're like, hey, we can protect nature better if we just kill everybody else. Woo! Imagine a world without humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings. Nature is allowed to be what nature is, and only the shifters are around as a vast kingdom underneath our own domain. Like, okay, I get that does protect nature, the spirits, and the natural order, but fuck you, you're an asshole. Okay. Set the nukes to a dead man switch. Nukes, by the way, nukes don't work in this world. Not because they can't physically function, but because the dragons basically say no. Right? So nuclear like bombs and stuff like that do exist in this world on Saren. They don't function because when a nuke gets fired and there's a dragon even remotely in the vicinity, they're like, nah, how about I just whoop, 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 and just fucking erase that shit. No. I don't think so. You don't get to do this. So that's why there's been so many world wars without, like, risk of nuclear conflict, because, again, they don't function. Dragons literally just fucking Uno reverse that shit. They're just like, how about no? And then also to put it in perspective, the way the Third World War ended, not only did Rosentia, like, call for truce against them, right? Darn, looks like gas is back on the menu, boys. Well, here's where we're going to get into that. So, not only did Rosentia call for a truce early, because Rosentia's really, like, there's a lot of Wolverine, a lot of shifters that have a lot of influence in Rosentia, and they were basically, like, pushing behind the scenes, being like, hey, no, we don't need to fight the dragons or anything like that. You know, again, let bygones be bygones. They're not doing anything to us. How many hundreds of years has Rosentia existed? And you only learned about dragons now? You know, they could have wiped us out at any time. Like, why not back when the first expansions of the Republic were happening and everything? Like, no, it's clearly, like, they're like, just don't bother them, and they're fine. So Rosentia was the first that was actually in the war. The Sahir never went to war with the dragons. But Rosentia did, the Dwarven Clanholds did, the Golden Dawn Imperium did, a lot of the other countries around the world did, because, again, they're not at the top of the food chain. The Sahir didn't because, you know... ah, yes! Flying scaled brethren! Since the Sahir are all lizardmen and everything. So, they're like, we got no reason. Who cares? So Rosentia was the first one that actually declared war to then, declare for truce or seek truce. The way the war ended was a public broadcasting of the island Hattori, which you might recognize because we've talked about it in Guardians of Nature. Island Hattori later on gets recolonized. But Island Hattori was a Golden Dawn Imperium island, kind of like the halfway point between the Golden Dawn Imperium and Rosentia. Right? It's kind of the midway in this universe. Golden Dawn Imperium, it's kind of a fortress island and everything like that. A dragon shows up and basically on live broadcast just to prove he's like, okay, we're sick of this fucking war. I'm gonna show you some things here. He casts a single spell and just fucking yeetus deletes the island, like all of its inhabitants. Just fucking obliterates them, just with a snap of his fucking fingers. And they're gone. And he's like, this is what you're up against. You want to keep fucking around and finding out? Or are you going to call it quits now? Right? Yeah, no, not even a nuke. Because it left the buildings and everything, right? It left the buildings. It's more like just evaporated all of the people. So all the elves and humans on the island just fucking gone. It's just like, and erase. Poof. It's like, this is what you're up against. Do you want to continue to fuck around and find out? Or do you want to do the smart thing? And the world basically like was like, yeah, okay, we can't, we can't. Oh, that war was just a big misunderstanding. Living humanoids. Because the trees and everything are like that, the dragons won't fuck around with nature, right? But, yeah, they will just, whoof, everything out. Unbeknownst to some people, there were some survivors on the island, but it's because the spell... Remember, in my setting, spells are very, very specifically targeted, right? You have to be very careful in wording spells and their usage and everything. Magic backlash is a thing, but also the exacting nature of the spell is important. They're literally the fucking monkey's paw. Be very fucking careful with how you word your spell. Because if you, say, cast a spell that deletes all, like, living entities, like humanoid entities within a certain radius, you might be included in that radius. Have you done your calculations properly? Did you put an exception in for you? Very fucking careful what you do with magic. It is very dangerous. Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, that was that. So yeah, that's basically like why nuclear warfare isn't really a thing either. Because the dragons can literally just yeet us, delete us, any nuclear warheads or anything. I got a little thing for my D&D campaign, and so I made a Dwauger Master Slaver. So I was around thinking, should I make him a Death Cleric or a Shadow Sorcerer? So I mean, it's up to you. I don't know what his personality and everything will be, right? Like, I don't know what the personality of your character will be. Also, I wish Threadnought was here, because he'd be the one to perfectly ask, because he would know more in-depth the classes and everything, right? That would be fun. Okay. Meanwhile, I should have done this before. I should have hit play so that it could actually, like, start the process of going through the shaders and everything. That was silly of me. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, then by the time... So you'll know at the end of the Third World War, Island Hattori gets basically the organic nuke, right? It gets wiped out. By the time we then go forward, like 50 or 60 years into the Fifth World War, so you have the Fourth World War, and by the time of the Fifth World War, because it's revealed in Guardians of Nature, the Rosentian Marines have to attack Island Hattori again, which has obviously been reoccupied by the Golden Dawn Imperium. But there was a time there for a while when nobody had Island Hattori, and nobody wanted to be there because, well, bad juju. People got melted into little puddles. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be on an island where the school on the island, like, literally was a bunch of puddles of what used to be children. That's kind of got some dark juju to it. I'm thinking that's a bad sign. But no, eventually they do take it over because it has actual strategic value. They accept no for an answer. Well, that's different. Normally, they don't accept no. No, it wasn't just a naval base. Island Hattori is a big enough island to have a couple, like, it's more like an Okinawa situation, right? Or an Iwo Jima, where it was big enough to have, like, runways and a couple different cities and stuff like that on it. Or towns, more accurately. One big city, which was the port, which is associated with the naval base and everything. But then, you know, like, towns and stuff like that around it. But that was the dragon's point, was, like, he picked that specifically to make sure it fucking hurt. Because remember, good does not mean nice. And, yeah, he was, this particular dragon was, kind of sick of the bullshit. He's like, what did we do to you? Nothing. Yeah, you come into our homes, you attack into our dens, you destroy and kill our people. Not the dragons, but the Drakine and the Drakmolkine. They're like, He's like, I'm about done with all of you. So I'm gonna make it perfectly clear how out of your league you all are, and you can choose to go the fuck home, or we can take this even further. Okay, I have too many of these. I'm gonna put them in here. This I found. Look at how much water this can carry, okay? Compare this to what I have on me. This I can carry 4 sips of water. This, anyone want to count how many sips of water that is? It's 10,000 units versus 1,000. So what is that? Is that 40? 40 sips? What the hell? No wonder it weighs so much. Now, I'm not going to use it, but no wonder it weighs so fucking much. It's 40 fucking sips of water. Alright. So. Well, I'm going to use my ornithopter and fly around and talk about this. And you see, I'm starting to try out some things. Like, this is our new door here, right? I'm going to put, like, a door here at the back, and that's where we're going to have all the, like, storage, stuff like that. And then another door will come out to this side towards all the crafting benches. But, as Eliorel pointed out, we have no ground access to our base. So we can't drive, like, heavy machinery up here. We would need a carry-all or the carrier ornithopter to do it. So what I was thinking was, if I could build another subfief here, and then build a ramp down to the road here. That's one option. Option number 2, we just move the base. Which wouldn't be too bad. We know a bit more about what we're doing, and again, we wouldn't move far. I would just try to pick a spot where we can have a little bit of, like, ground access, right? Because same thing with this. His is a really good base placement because they have the hangar here. And then they have their garage down here. So, that's my options today. Do I want to move the base entirely? Or do I want to, like, try to make another subfief and build down? Honestly, I think it might be more prudent to move the base. And I was thinking, if we could move it down here off of this cliff face, right? I don't know if it's too close to this or not. A bit to the left of mine. Left when looking at it or coming from it? looking at it. Okay, so I am going in the right direction. So you're down here somewhere? Are you in the Udum territory, or did I miss it forward more? Oh, you're on a cliff near it. Okay.
Sector weather alert. A
Oh,
large
fuck.
sandstorm is approaching.
Oh, really, you bastard bitch. Okay. Yeah, once we get more rooms, we'll move all this stuff out. But yeah, I'll try to find your base, Miss Island Gaming. I'll try in a bit. Obviously, gotta wait for the storm to pass. I did make a shit ton of filters, lubricant. So, that'll be nice to actually get a wind turbine up and running. I had a filter, but I can't remember which one of these fucking things builds filters now.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Here comes the sand, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sand. It's all coarse. It suddenly got really dark outside. That reminds me of that meme of like, activate code 67. And then all the Jedi younglings pop out of their hiding spots. 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. And then Anakin kills them all and he's like, we really need to outlaw the meme 6-7. And the Emperor's like, I agree. Fucking Zoomer brain rot, I swear. Okay. Hooray! Yeah, I've been actually harvesting spice and sandflower, which is why we have so much of some stuff here. Not in here, in here. Yeah, so I've been harvesting spice, I've been harvesting sand, or flower sand. So, it is some butt-puckery moments, though, harvesting this stuff. To say the least. Well, wait until we can actually build our full-on harvester. Look, I have it unlocked. I have the carrier unlocked as well. So we can literally take this to the deep desert and fucking full-on harvester this shit. And the worm will come? The worm always comes. What do you think spice is? Come! No! My ignorance! It is. It's a... You need to actually... We're starting to get to the point where it feels like you need actual other players. I can go harvest spice myself with this, with the compactor, but yeah. right. Yeah. So I don't know if you heard, Miss Silent Gaming. The plan is either to make another sub fief like down here and then bring it down to the road and like build a ramp down to the road, or to just move the base. And I'm thinking move the base might be the more practical like thing to do, so I don't have to like pay for the upkeep of 2 sub fiefs. Oh, look who's this? Hello. Invite to party? No. I mean, I guess we can invite to party. Sure. I mean, there's no real reason to, but yeah. Okay. Alright. Let's see where Lorelei is at. Oh. Whoa! I don't know that movement tech, but I wish I did. They're gone! Ah, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that could work, because, again, you're right on the road. If we actually... So, Laurel, if we did this... If we moved your base... like, up here... just to, I assume that's you? I assume? But if we moved your base just, like, up to here... So we could have the hangar facing this way... That'd be nice. Because then we'd have the hangar facing out towards the west, which faces towards going to the deep desert. Yep, that's what this is. I've got an upgraded version of it, though. That could work. Again, I need to actually make the guild and everything, and then we can get Rapar in it as well. I need to go back and get my Muns out and make the guild. It'll probably just be the Sand Wolves. I need to start building some more stuff. Again, I'm getting into the, like, where I've got to get some weird resources. Granted, I should start doing the next tier of stuff, but yeah, your Fremen stick can also do spice as well. So if you see purple, it's spice. Yeah, so, like, one of the things I need is I need to actually make the, this. Oh, I have enough now. Perfect. Actually, maybe I should hold off on that. So what do you think we should do, Lorelei? Should we move the base? Or should we just do the, like, sub-fief thing and use one sub-fief to be just a gate? that goes down. Go full Dune. What's sand wolves in Arabic? I don't want to do Arabic. I guess we could see what they are. Oh, stop. Diab al Rimmel? No. 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 Well, that depends. Do you think that's what we should do? We should just move this over? Like I said, I'm open to either option. Like a little hideaway in here. Hold on. Huh. Neat. Just a neat little cove. Just in here. Just... Yeah. Terrain generation, baby. Okay. Yeah, then let's do that. Let's move the base over. Again, get it overhanging the cliff face. And then we can extend it back to build a ramp down so that we can have a garage that can come right up to the road access, right? And I don't mind if we extend the garage out a bit. So, yeah. What is that? And some hosses? That's some hosses? I see some hosses. Yeah, I like the idea of the sub-fief thing too, but we could just do that here, right? Do you see how this like narrows in? So we could put a sub-fief here. No, we couldn't actually because that camp's right there. Damn. But I do like the idea of, you know, the gates of something too. I like that. That's why I was thinking like making it just be a big hangar tunnel that's going along, and you're inside it, right? You have the little phase gates all the way through it. Because again, if we could just get up to this spot, this would be like a little mini road right here. You know? But that would be 2 sub-fiefs versus just having the one. And this would give road access, and this is a pretty decent road. It's not the bestest. Again, his spot down there is better because that gets you quicker down to these and down towards the sand. But this one's not terrible at all. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll go with. Go with Lorelei. We'll move the base right to here. Again, extending out over the cliff face here, and extending back to allow a garage and everything that will go straight down to this road. Oh wait, but that will cover. Will people get extra pissy about the fucking dew flowers, though? Because I just realized there's those dew flowers right there. Yeah. I will. Let's just do that right now. Well, that's the problem, right? It's too tucked away? Okay, good. Because that's the problem. You think that, Mishima, but there are people that are that petty and butthurt, right? You would think that. But there are some petty motherfuckers out there. Dunes and worms. Okay. Woo! Woo! Okay. Now. Oh, there we go. Lorelei Newland. Yes. Okay, you. We'll invite. And Rapar, did you make your character? Player not found. Rapar, what is your character's name? What's your character's name? Oh, yeah. Have you ever... You should see what happens when you're going spicing and stuff like that. Because I've had it where he breaches nearby, and he does not need to do the full, like, well, I'm the worm. He doesn't need to do that. Shai-Hulud can literally just come up and then immediately turn and fall and open its mouth and head right for you. And that has been some of the most butt-puckery moments I have had. Okay. Now. Okay. Your name is... That. Invite? Oh, I was clicked in the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. Invited. Now we need to do the guild stuff. I don't need to edit description. Nice, you just need to edit base permissions for guildies now. Alright. Permissions. Already got you in the guild. How do I do this? It can. I've just found it's better to just not hit any drum sand and gun it. Like, head straight for your destination. You know what I mean? That's what I've found to be the best, like, defense. Okay. That's how it works. I can literally just do that. And that would promote you guys up, I assume. Okay. So now you're both in, so you should be able to come through the door now. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Right. So the first thing I need to do... take out this granite. I need to grab... the sub-fief stuff. Really? It's in here, okay. Okay. Right. Perfect, okay. Let me store you. Is there a way? I wonder if my one thing works now. Hello? Over there, Spicefield got nuked. Okay. Cannot be backed up for 3 days, 23 hours, and 37 minutes. Beans! Okay. Just like, that would have been so much easier. Alright, well, fucking... rip. Well, I used my avatar. I had to make this. There was a base kit I used, and then I went into Blender and had to do a lot of fucking edits to it, like getting the wings attached and everything. The wings are wrong. I need pseudo hands on them, but someone that's not good with Blender, that was already a struggle. So yeah, I had done all that. I had to default all of the shapes to be proper. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can try something. Oh, that works. Whee! Fingy wings. I'm using what's a program known as VC Face. It's not the best there is, but it's usable for the purposes I need. Go to another sub-fief. Oh, technically, I could do it right here. Wow. Can I get this rotated at all? There we go. I wish I could get like an eye in the sky look. You know what I mean? To make sure we're in like alignment. Ugh! Ow. Because we need it to overhang the cliff so we can make the hangar. And then be back enough that we can get the ramp down to the garage where you are. I would love to get the ramp to fully go over this rough patch here for our buggies and everything like that. Yeah. Because the better we can get it just on a straight road would be great. But then obviously I want the overhang too. I'm being greedy. We could just do it anyways, and then I could use those bots to increase it backwards, right? There are a bunch of skins. I don't know if there's new, but there are a lot of skins for Dune. I've got Atreides stuff, because obviously we're with House Atreides. I'm thinking like here. And then I can just use stuff to back it off. It does put us a bit over the cliff. Man, I really wish I had like an eye in the sky like thing I could toggle. So I could just be like, this is exactly how your blueprint's gonna look from right from above. So you know exactly the confines of your land. Because I do know I want the hangar to be 7 wide. Because that'll just accommodate for, like, moving the big carrier ornithopters and stuff in, right? Or multiple of, like, the assault ornithopters to place them inside. Welcome, Lorelei, to my tism of now trying to like get this properly oriented and situated so we get the best of both worlds. Okay, so that right there punches into your land, which when looking at it, so that should be more than enough to reach back if I let it just touch yours and then go forward enough to have the cliff. Ooh. Okay, yeah, we'll do here. That should work. Alright, there we go. Don't worry about it, I got it. So now, I almost heat stroked. I did have a lot of engineering stuff, though. But yeah, see? And this will overhang the cliff face. Perfect. And then back here. Right, so what I'll do is we'll need to do the extender backwards with the drones back towards your base. But that won't be so bad. Actually, could I even get rid of this a little bit? Oh, yeah. Nope. Trust me. I understand fully. I do it mostly just so I can, like, chat with people and everything like that. Any, like, income that comes from that, though, is just, like, bonus on the side. I just mostly just, sit here and jaw jack and talk about, like, the books I'm writing and everything a lot. Some of the new story beats and everything. Yeah, I think if we get rid of this and we go back more. Back towards you. Okay. Oh yeah, hang on, I gotta spin it. Spin, spin, spin. I heat stroke myself. Oh, heat stroke. Yeah, there we go. Now it's actually touching down here. So it won't be the smoothest ride, but again, we can extend that out eventually in that direction and just slowly just boom, build, build, build. So yeah, that won't be too bad. That won't be too bad. We can extend it out and get the garage going. Let me go check how much those territory bots cost. I don't think so. I think they're genuinely pretty reasonable. I gotta remember what thing they're in, though. Hang on a second. Maybe, you know, this might give me a hint. Okay. Comes in a survival fabricator and build construction tool. Okay. I'm not muted. It's just quiet. That's pretty reasonable, honestly. The Solari's the thing that hurts, but that's not bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Let me start laying the framework, at least, of stuff in. No, I haven't listened to the in-game radio. I didn't even know there was an in-game radio. Oh, okay, well, right, so if you do a little too early, that's funny. Whoa! Hi. Core pops out sometimes, yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so we wanted to get up over this hill. Whoops. Oh, it's wrong. Okay. Something like this. Now, is this actually in line? No? We're about to find out. I need to find out if this lines up properly. Worst thing comes to worst, I'll just, like, undo it. Nah. It's not lined up properly. Okay. So we want to get the maximum bang for our buck. It was like this, right? And that's the height we want. Okay, that looks like it's lined up now. I guess I should just do it like from here, right?
Ever wonder what it's like out there beyond the safety of the city, where the sand shifts and ancient secrets hide beneath the dunes? Well, let me tell you, there's more out there than spice and sand. The Wastelander Chronicles takes us into the life of a scrappy young scavenger girl and her family as they brave war-torn battlefields, hunting salvage and other buried secrets. Stay tuned, because this is one tale you don't want to miss. It's the Wastelander Chronicles, brought to you by O'Gary's Imports. O'Gary's Imports. If you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. Join us now as we journey to the blistering sands of Arrakis, where we follow the adventures of the O'Gary clan, a pioneering family of salvage experts, as they scour war-torn battlefields and crash sites to discover their next great haul.
This is a bunch of goofy thing, yeah. I appreciate that this is a thing that exists. Unironically.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to the Wastelander Chronicles. I'm your Badlands Scout, Sally O'Gary, and I've got a crazy story for you. It all started when my dad announced a surprise salvage mission. It was just after sunset. Dad has spent all day, as always, mining our storefront and listening to the space traffic controllers going about their business on the Communinet. I always tease Dad and ask how it is he can listen to those encrypted channels, and he just shushes me and tells me to clean my guns. But this was a day Dad's patience and extra-legal Communinet receiver paid off. He overheard a distress call from the Leopoldus, a light freighter carrying machine parts out of Bella to Goose. Now, you might be thinking, Sally, what's so darn exciting about machine parts? But in the salvage game, we learned that a ship listing machine parts on its cargo manifest could be carrying anything from precision lasgun barrels to cybernetic eyeballs, so it's worth the trip. Of course, Dad's not the best with his numbers, so it was up to Mom to triangulate the coordinates and plot our course to the crash site in the minor Erg. As always, when we piled into Clovis, our vintage 68 Chome Landmaster, Mom reminded us of the grim dangers waiting for us in the desert. Bandits, slavers, cultists, and of course, the old man of the desert himself, the Great Sandworm. When we finally arrived at the sector our coordinates were within, we hid Clovis under a tarp and moved in on foot. As always, it was up to me and my little brother Coda to scout ahead and look for danger. Now, you might be thinking,
we
Sally,
follow this
that
like
seems like a
down
grown-up job.
slope into
Why
the
would you and
hangar.
your cute little brother be sent ahead to scout? The truth is, we rely on that cuteness to lull our enemies into a false sense of security. Then, we kill them real good. Coda can separate a man from his jewels in less than 2
real
seconds.
good. What the
I've
fuck?
seen him do it. But after a whole lot of dust and nothing, we finally came up upon the coordinates.
Yeah, I think
marked on our
this
map.
is what
And
we'll
what do you
do.
know? The crash
We'll
ship
follow
was
the
nowhere to be
thing
seen.
down, and then we'll go
Of course,
down
Mom and Dad
into the
immediately
hangar.
set to arguing
right?
about it, while the rest of us
I think that'll
fanned
just add a
out.
nice little.
You're an idiot, Finno Gary. Don't you dare blame my calculations on this fiasco. I should have listened to my mother and entered the sisterhood. At least then, I'd be married off to a man of consequence.
You wouldn't be married to anything but a mop and bucket. Instead of kids, you'd have hallways to clean. And you know those witches got a lot of hallways.
What do you know about the Bene Gesserit? You don't even know how to add.
I know one thing I'd like to subtract.
Hey, Mom and Dad? Look what Phaedra and Bree just found.
While my parents were bickering, my big sisters, Phaedra and Bree, had uncovered a hatch in the ground, beneath layers of sand and scree. It took some cutting, some prying, and a whole lot of cussing, but my dad finally got the hatch to open to reveal a ladder going down. Dad led the way, his glow cutting through the darkness as we descended for what seemed like an eternity.
This is actually
This
really
wood ladder
sweet.
shaft
Actually,
was
this
marked
is
with
like,
ancient warning signs
like kinda
in a
fun.
language that Phaedra said was Proto-Galactic.
Oh, I don't have a thing.
Whatever that means. Dad said it meant that the place at the bottom of the ladder was a part of the old empire. Finn Jr. said they were around a really, really long time ago and sent their scientists all over the universe to very cool stuff. Dad said finding their old stuff is our family pastime.
The fate of the O'Gary clan has always been tied to remnants of the old empire, whether it was back on Hagel or right here on Arrakis. Look at how we're drawn to one of their facilities without
Okay,
even knowing it was
if
here.
we
When we finally
do a
got
door
to the bottom
here,
of
I
the ladder,
think.
we found ourselves in a small antechamber.
So-
That's when Mom noticed a series of small, almost invisible switches along the wall. With a little bit of trial
I
and
don't know
error,
how far out we
activated
can
the
extend this
mechanism.
out over the
A
cliff,
screen
though.
flickered
You
to
know?
life, displaying a map of the facility. Dad examined the map and explained that we were in an auxiliary substation built to support nearby old Empire ecolabs with technical matters. This was very exciting for Dad because it meant that there were even more testing stations out there just waiting for us to find them. But for now, we had this substation before us. Mom figured out where we were on the map. It seemed we had entered through an emergency escape tunnel, but when we tried the door leading back to the main area, it wouldn't open no matter what we tried. Dad began to despair, but Mom kept her head and found us another route back into the complex through a twisty utility duct. But there was a catch. The utility duct was incredibly narrow, too small for any grown-ups to fit through. This was my
maybe we
moment
need
to
6
shine.
out.
With a quick pep talk from my mom and a promise to be careful, I wriggled into the tight space, inching my way
So
forward.
I'm thinking 6
The walls
out.
closed in around me.
We'll
but in
do
true
this because I
O'Gary
can
spirit,
extend
I kept
out
my cool,
towards
determined to
you,
reach the other
Lorelai.
side. About 30 meters in, I felt a tug on the safety rope tied around my waist. It had reached its limit. I couldn't go any further unless I disconnected it.
Sally, you're at the end of the rope. You want to come back, hun?
That's funny.
I can't turn around here. It's too tight. I'll have to disconnect and keep going.
Are you sure, Sally?
Wait. Probably gonna get the stream flagged though. Oh, you stream. Oh, sorry, you didn't see anything. My apologies. I didn't mean to ignore that. But I was saying, like, yeah, I understand you. I understand the whole, like, the dourness of it all, feeling like nothing ever happens because people just pay for botted views and things like that, and only, like, the top percentage get anybody. I feel that. For me, I just stream to just basically chat with everyone. We talk about the books and everything like that I'm writing. We just, we just hang around and have a good time, basically. I'm coming. I'm coming, please hold. Whee! I'm here. You? Okay, there you go. Got permissions. I don't think you have build permissions, though. If that's what you need. Nearby. All these rocks and no granite. Okay. I'm gonna have to just go on a granite mining run or something. I guess I could start all the Atreides stuff we need. But essentially, I'm just trying to use like granite as the subfloor, and then I can just swap out for the better stuff later. You need level 4 permission. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. Whoop, tap. No, give raw part permission. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, level 4 permission now. Valomogulis. Let me move this so it's not in the way anymore. Slap it here. Check on my build up here. And because now this is going to be a clan base, we might as well make it look nice. Whoa, shit. Ugh. Okay. Let me check some stuff here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 is good. 6 should be perfect. So we'll extend it out by that over there. Meanwhile, see lots of basalt. Yeah. So 6x7 will be the hangar. I love the view, but obviously, like, for practical purposes, like, more pragmatically, we want to build over here. Which, again, the view isn't terrible over here, either. As you can see. Again, won't be a bad view. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can't fit hangar. That's gonna be a pretty shallow hangar. But I guess it's only, we only have the one stuff in it, so yeah. That should be fine. It should be fine with the way we've got it. Eat this stuff. There's sandstorms incoming.
Sector weather alert.
Yep.
A large sandstorm is approaching.
I'll have to retreat to my base here in a second. Because then I'm going to use... Okay. I'll go get my actual building
Sector
stuff,
weather alert. A
and we'll
large
put the
sandstorm
actual,
is
like...
approaching.
We'll start putting the actual, like, Atreides stuff in. Come back, Grindus. Come back. Okay, which one did I put it in? Was it you? Where did I put the stone? Did I leave it in the thing?
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
No. What the? What? Oh, here it is. Yeah, right here. Okay. And then... Where are the floors? I guess it's just rooftop? And then you have just normal flooring? That seems not right. You know what I mean? It's like a vibe thing that's wrong here. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to start putting in the, like, the kind of detail stuff. Yeah, I figured the fucking fucking sandstorm was gonna hurt us a little bit. That's okay. Ow, my belt broke. Shit. That's rude. Yeah, so I think like this, and then change to this one, and swap it. I gotta be really fucking careful because my belt broke. Help! Help! My belt is broken. I didn't realize it was so low. Oh my god. Yeah, I gotta go fix it. I'm a poor little pauper. I'm a poor little pauper without a belt. I gotta go turn my repair station on. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Ah! Oh my god, it's terrible without the belt. Alright, let's see. Let's turn off you. Disable. Turn on you. Repair my belt. Repair that as well. Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay. Look at how much better that is. Oh, baby. Okay. Okay. Okay, now switch to these. Oh, sorry, to these. Again, this is just pure cosmetic stuff. This is not like, oh, these are gonna do so much for us. No, it's pure cosmetic, right? It just looks nice. I'll replace these floors with the better stuff soon. Let's make sure we got everything. Side. Okay. Yep. Neat. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this will be... I guess I might as well start putting this in, so... Oh, son. Sunstroke. No. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hold some granite back. We'll get other stuff down here to go. Because basically we're starting to lay in the foundation of all of our stuff. I'll get the upgraded. Is you, right? Yeah, we did. I wonder. Okay. Okay, and then, like, again, I will start slowly dismantling stuff and bringing it over here. I need to get the walls all in place. I need to make a bunch more plus stone, which I think we should be pretty good on. Man, being a poor sap who can't fly sucks. Was it you that makes it? No. What manufactures the plus stone we need? Ah, it's you. Okay. Yeah, so I need basalt now. Alright, that's easy peasy. We got a metric shit ton of basalt next to us. Put you up, put you up. I'm just gonna throw these in here for now. So I can go get a fuck ton more basalt. Because it's literally all around us. So I'm just gonna go start harvesting. Sure. Go for it. Go for it, Lorelei. Yeah, it's nice to get a bunch of stuff scanned. I have the 4th trial I still gotta find, which I'm gonna assume likely out in the deep desert. Whoa! Or maybe over in Sheol. one batch. Oh, there's one right there. That was a bit of a goofy trail to do. Cut in a little too soon. So we can make 2 batches now. I would love to make like these, right? I think that would be really fucking neat. Just make an actual like thing, but make it a full hanger as well. Other medium fuel cell. Hurry up, make 3 batches now. Oh! I'm tempted, but at the same time, that's how I got killed by Shai Hulud last time. Oh, no. Fucking stay. When the vehicle's a hopping, grab it before it does any crazy shenaniganry. Alright, so that'll be 750 basalt. Azalea. Azzaell. Okay. All right. Tiamat? Oh, that's correct. Invite. What happened? Did it spit out the rocks? Where are they? It didn't make one of the things. Oh, I didn't have room. Shite. Okay. Oh shit, where? How do I get that stuff back now? Oh, did it spit it in here? 350. 500. Yeah, okay, it spit it in there. Put that up. Okay. I'm coming. Okay, so then, what I'm thinking here is we'll have like the storage rooms in here in the in-between, right? So that once you come into the hangar, you can just come over into storage instantly and just throw your stuff in to the chests and stuff. So we'll have it on, like, over here will be, like, stowage. So, let's do... I got a big door here. Yeah. Is there a big... That's a passageway. This will work. Yeah. Oh, shit. Whoops. Let's try that again. One more time. With feeling this time. There you go. So again, just a nice little passageway leading right to it. Let me move these real quick. Okay. How do mine for fish? How do mine for fish? Okay. So why can't I get this here? Oh, I see why. You have this here. Alright, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Again, just to make it look a little nicer. So, this will just be our storage. We'll get these lined up properly better. But our storage room, so people can just run straight ahead from their stuff, throw them in the bins that they want. This is obviously going to be the hangar, so let me start working on the hangar itself now. Because I'm thinking, do like, yeah, that as the outer, looks nice. Welcome, Robust. Welcome, welcome. That's going well. I'm building up the hangar right now to get our stuff going, and I got to put in our like barrier thing. Well, I could, we could get the thing and extend out more. So, you know what I mean? Like, I could extend it out over the gap more. Yeah, you literally lose everything. Getting eaten by Shai-Hulud or the Coriolis storms will you lose everything. Yep, this is the guild base basically we're working on. So like, see, right now we're at the limit of like our wall, right? You mean you just want to make the thing wider? Excuse me. So you just want to make it wider out this way? Yep, these extensions are a thing. Yes, but later. Okay. That's what I'm working. Yeah, 'cause let me look at this in here. Yeah. Just to be careful not to run into the back wall. That's okay. I want to do a prudence door. I think a tall door makes more sense. Yeah, leading down into the hangar itself. Okay. Well, this is already going to be super tall because we need to be able to, like, have the carrier ornithopter get over the top of the other. So this is already going to be a tall hangar, you know? Okay, wait. Yeah, we could do... Hey, we can extend this up. Because we need to get this. This has got to be tall. So we can fit everything. So, like, the hangar is going to be, like... you know, going to be tall. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. 3, though. Just so we can actually get everything in. Oh, whoa. Don't do that. Because what I'm trying to judge it based off of, I'll show that. Like, here, so that the stream can see. So I mean, we need to be able to get under this, right? Ooh, no, I think we need to go taller. I think we need to go one more tall. I think it's got to be 4. Oh, you want a both? You want a plasma wall insert and a roof? Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So what Lorelai's talking about is that you remember how we have our hangar over here where it has the entryway? We can have the roof be the plasma stuff too. Let me get rid of this stuff. It's raining! Okay. Let me put our... and then I'll just replace these real quick. And just make it look nice. Whoa! Just make it look nice. But yeah, then Lorelai can put in the thing. In fact, we could do... see something. As a thing out, we can do 2 separate plasma walls here, and then the plasma wall above at top, so you can top insert and you can side insert as well. Here, let me do... ooh. We'll get rid of that in a second. I'll replace that in a second. What if we do... it looks nicer as like an inner. I think that looks nicer as an inner. Okay, I've already got that. Take that one out. Put that in its place. There we go. Now we have that. Yeah. Just for these hangers thing. Just for visual look, right? Because most of us are going to be coming through the top roof anyways. You know? Like, most people are going to just VTOL, come in through the top plasma field. But this is just like a visual look. 2 different hangar, like, doors. Just looks a little bit nicer from the outside. Okay. Yeah, like I said, again, this is all just to look like interesting, you know? Because it's going to be a guild base. We might as well have the guild base look nice. Yeah. Okay, let me go start grabbing some stuff there. I'm just going to use my ornithopter. Do we want to do the corners? I want to get our farm, our wind farms up and running. Our wind turbines. So see how it is like this? See how that's a plasma door in there? Oh, somebody pissed off Shai Hulud. Again, he does not need to do that whole song and dance either. He can come up and dive right towards you, like, immediately. And that is a cheeks clenched moment for sure. That is a whoa. Okay. So what do I need for the shield wall? I want to make 3 of them. Stupid worm thinks he's the boss of my Arrakis, my Dune. Yep. Okay, back to you. We need steel, cobalt, and calibrated servox. Okay. Yeah. Advanced servox. These are calibrated servox, okay. And what else? Cobalt paste. Alright. It'll also be nice to dismantle this base and move it and everything, you know? Get a proper home going. Shai Hulud, you're a bully. Yes. Okay, now the question is, do we want to, like, We're inside the land claim, you dingus. You dorka dingus. Take from here. No, fine. We'll start up at this corner. Okay, there's the first one in. Second one in. And the third one. Now, do I want to have this full thing exposed to the air? Could we do any decorations or anything that would make it look really nice? Did that work? Did that not work? don't think it worked. Oh, it did work. Okay, we just don't have the thing yet. Alright. What do we need here? Cobalt paste. Okay. Basically got their stuff in here. I'm going to get one of the turbines up so we can get our base powered. Any PvP yet? I have not. Well, I bought the Atreides pack, so as you'll be able to see when we get over there more. Yeah, and then I'll dismantle this base. Oh my god, I'm out of cobalt paste? What do we need for... Whoops. What do we need for manufacture of it? Crystals. I hate the crystals. Well, priority now will be moving all of our stuff over. So... you know, let's start that process. And we'll get all of our generators up and running and all that, you know, fun stuff. That is true. They are easier to get now because we have an ornithopter. But even so, not a fan. Like I said, I'm just going to come over here and dump this stuff into bays. See, there you go. So Lorelai's got us up and running. I'm going to get stuff on the roof soon. Down. This is building materials and stuff. Put that in there. Offload my cargo. That's normal stuff. Put this stuff in here. I'm going to put processed stuff over in this one, basically. And we'll put raw stuff in this one. Which is actually backwards from what from Lorelai had put. Fuck. I only realized that now that I started. Alright. Just invert it. There we go. There. Okay. I'll bring more containers and stuff like that. We'll get those all set up here soon. And then I'll refuel, repair, go get a fuck ton of cobalt paste. And just go mine like a shit ton of crystals. Save this up for now. Alright, this is all the fun stuff. Okay. Oh, fuck. The spice must flow! Always did like that Hans Zimmer. Okay. Alright. Polish you. I can start taking this stuff all apart now. Okay. Whoa, that's some lag. Oh, yeah, Erectus. Okay. Right. So again, this is normal materials, non-processed. So I'm gonna throw that and that in there. That in there. This is processed materials. So I'll throw you in, you. Okay, now I gotta get all the stuff out of the chopper. Out of the ornithopter. Yes, I will. I will. But I want to get more, because obviously, the more the better.
Sector weather alert.
Oh.
A large sandstorm is
Hello,
approaching.
sandstorm. Raw materials. Raw. This is all processed. Man, it's dark in here. Help! It's dark in here. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is water sealed. Nice. Oh my goodness. Yeah, slowly just moving everything over. While I'm here, I guess, let me... I'm going to do another thing. That. Oh, man. Are you serious? You know how awesome that would have been if that actually fit. Now my tism will bug me. Okay. What a silly goofy goobery going on here. Okay. Okay, that's it. I'm out. I've had it up to here. Alright. Go back and start dismantling more of the other base. Yeah, sandstorm went through already. The sandstorm went through. I wish there was a way to, like, really transport all this water. I mean, I can do this now, right? And come in here and fill a container. So that's got 10,000 in it. But I wish there was a better way, you know? I wish I could just build like a big water jug thing and just move it. Oh, wow, okay. Please hold. Wrong. Right. Yeah, so that's 15V no matter what. My God, just carry that around. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just build the big water tanks or something like that in the guild base. And obviously the advanced blood processor machines. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ow. Okay, pick that up. There we go. Can't believe I have that. I need to just fully break that down. Okay. Yeah, take that. Fuel. Ooh! I accidentally hit W on that, and I made myself go into a full dive instead of the normal sweep. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, that's how you say very bad. Alright, so this is stuff found in the wild. So, you in there, you in there, you in there, you in there. Oh, okay. Lorelai's doing stuff. So, while Lorelai's doing that then, I'm just going to put a chest here for Lorelai. And I'm just going to leave stuff in it. That way Lorelai can get it organized, situated, any way they want. And I'll keep breaking down the other base. Alright, deposit all water. Oh, man. Alright, well, that's fine. I've got more water to go slurp up anyways. Man, remind me of the head-on commercial. Good lord, Mishima. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. It's like, what's it for? Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. It's like, what does it do? What do? What do you do? Yeah, I know, right? It's like we told you. It's applying for the forehead. You apply it to your forehead. You are so unhelpful. You are so unhelpful. Okay. That's fine. Because we're going to... you. Not yet. I've got the materials so I can bring them over there. Though. Basically, I'm emptying everything out now. So I'm just trying to get this base all broken down. And bringing all the water over, you know, all the fun stuff. I should need one more water journey, and then I'll have all the water out of the base, too. I got a bunch of fuel cells coming in, so those can all be processed. That stuff can all go to the armory. More of this stuff. Base constructors, throw that in. Okay. And, oh my god, I have to build another thing just for all the fucking fuel cells. Pretty sure there's a quicker way to open up the inventory in the, like, ornithopter and everything. Yep. Okay, and then I'll throw this stuff in the water reserves. Deposit all water. I've started stripping out the shielding, so the shielding's gone. And then I'm going to start stripping down all of the, like, base itself. I'll get all of our Solaris, which I've been stockpiling. Yeah. Slurp. You up. Okay, there we go. That's all the water now. This has our backup suits and everything in it. This has all the Solaris in it. Oh, fuck. No, get out. Okay, throw you in there. Okay. Again, more batteries. Okay. Demolish the Prudence door. Okay. That's the plan. I'm leaving nothing behind. The only thing I'm gonna leave at the moment is one of the walls, or like a corner, so that way I can hide from the, you know, sun. The sun is a deadly laser. Not anymore, because there's clouds up there. Oh, shit. second. I'm gonna move the ornithopter so it doesn't fall. Also give us another spot of shelter, shade. We can sit down here and just run underneath the engine. Run underneath the engine of the ornithopter. That's true. I mean, technically I can do the same thing with the ornithopter. You can sit inside the ornithopter and reduce the sunlight. Eh. Whoa! Spice nuke. Spicy nuke. Alright, coming in with the last of the base. The base doesn't exist anymore. The old base. And then I'll build up some turbines. Definitely want to extend this hangar out by like 1. You know, and then we can redo the walls to be like a little bit nicer. That's okay. Alright. Next. This is all of our like tools and stuff. Like spare suits. So that'll be nice. Some ammo. Granite in that one, nice. Ooh, storage is full. Oh. Oh, we hit the weight limit. That's funny. What's in this one? Nothing. Okay, I'm going to. Swapsies. Okay, I'm gonna get all the fuel cells in there. Yeah, that was a much smoother process of moving everything over compared to last time. Line it up a little bit better. Okay. Alright, now let me go put some stuff on the roof and get the turbine mix. Okay. Okay, I can make 2 of them, so we just want to make it look decently organized. Where is our consoles in here? That work? Yeah, good. Put them up there. Nice. Make sure they're all operating. Whee! Yeah, perfect. How long do we have on these? Okay, 3 days and 15 hours. 16 hours, technically. 3 days and 16 hours worth. Okay, now... Because again, down this way will be where the, like, garage will be. We can extend out that way, so that'll be totally fine. So I'm going to put my bike over here. Here. All right. Lovely. How very lovely. Let me deposit all the water. There we go. Throw that in there. Oh. Oh, we are extra full here. Got it. Throw those in there for now. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick and get some lunch in me. So I will be right back. Pretzels. That's all I got. I need to get to the store bad. I need to get to the store bad and get some actual food. Okay. Meanwhile, let me steal some agua. Okay. I need to make some repair wire for my thing. Oh, that's not how you open up your inventory. Yes. Salvage metal. Oh, well, very conveniently. We had a bunch of salvage metal that I threw in here. Don't. I keep hitting C like an idiot to go into crafting. Symbolic. Okay, we're all repaired. Well, Par's experiencing the think fast chuckle nuts. Poof. Like, ah! I did it to myself. I poisoned myself. Alright. I'm gonna go crystal mining. Go get a fuck ton of them. And then, once I bring back a huge load of crystals, that'll probably be where I'll call the stream. Okay. Well, it'll be towards your base that you have, Lorelei, that you have sitting there. So if you want to move your stuff in, or however you want to do that, and then we can extend out to make the garage. Since that's the road that goes right up to it. Oh, perfect. Nice. Nice, nice. Yep, I played Valheim. A lot of it, in fact. I enjoyed its building system. God, it is so fucking foggy in here at the moment. Ugh, it's so foggy. Alright, straight ahead. All kinds of crystals. There we go, there's some. So the first set I should be able to just walk through and get everything. And then we'll place back our vehicle. Wait, what? What? I hope that was just out of range.
There's someone here.
Oh.
There's someone here. Don't get found.
Get the traitors. The Duke sends his regards, fucking traitors. Ooh. We're close to an outpost as well, which means quick supply to bodies for the dust stills. Yep. How bad does this fuck you up? Oh, it's radiation. Oh, okay. That was the glow of radioactivity. Damn, there's more here. Okay. I didn't expect that's what it was. Makes me wonder if there's some enemies that throw radiation grenades at you or something. I need to make a radiation suit and actually go into shield, which is very, very radioactive. Excuse me.
Someone's here. Eyes on enemy. Need to reload.
I don't blame you for dying to my flying knee kick. I'll have to go into Arakeen and pay a bunch of taxes too.
Enemy found.
Oh, you fuck.
The water is mine.
Your water is mine. I'm sorry, you were saying? Can't get. That's why I couldn't get it right there. Sheesh. That was terrible. I don't fire poison darts. That was a grappling hook. I grappling hooked him off balance so I could stick the blade through the shield. Now my blade is poisoned. Yes, that's true. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Hide. Yep, back down the ravine. Don't mind me.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
It's funny, I was going towards the wrong base. I was like, uh-oh. Oh.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Okay. Oh, not bad. drumming on the roof. Good thing those physics aren't simulated. Base, and then I will go grab some muns, and then we'll go pay our taxes. ornithopters are so fucking cool. I would love to live long enough to see an actual ornithopter be built. You know how much that would revolutionize so much in the way of VTOL and flight and everything? Because they'd be way more nimble than a helicopter would be. Well, it's feasible, just not with the materials we have. The problem is the material composition. But they are entirely feasible. Engineers have been trying to build one for a while. It's just, you know, what is the cost? To make another thing for carbon. Money, kind of. Again, like... There's gotta be a better way to put it. It's pretty rough, let's just put it that way. It's literally, it's like the literal definition of that's rough, buddy. Crystals in here. Now the US will finish it. Like, that's just too much of an advancement not to finish. Okay. Now, where are the Solaris? Where are Muns? Oh God. Where are our Muns? Assume something in a chest up here. Where's all my money? I had so much money and I can't find it now. Alright, Lorelai, where'd you put my Muns? Where'd you put my Solaris? Oh! You want to know what happened? Lorelai, look at my screen real quick. Look at my stream. So, do you notice anything weird here? I looked at this and I was like, okay, where are the Solaris? So I checked all the chests, right? I was like, I have a bunch of Solaris on me. Where are they? And then I realized the scroll bar's here, which doesn't show up if everything is where it's supposed to be. So, like, watch. If I move these up like they're supposed to be... See? There's no scroll bar here. It literally stops here. like, where in the fuck did my money go? It's at the bottom of the inventory in an inventory bug. Fantastic. Fantastic. Alright. Gonna go pay our taxes. I would just fly myself there, but it's quicker to just take the fucking taxi. While I'm in Arakeen, I might as well check with the Atreides vendor as well and see if we can get some cool stuff. I've got the Assault Ornithopter already. The Atreides variant. I mean, vehicle's out of range. What do you mean? Thank you. What do you mean?
Can I fly you somewhere today? Music tonight? Atreides in their war. All right.
Emperor, I'm here to pay my taxes. So that you'll fuck off. Leave me be. That took ages to load into Arakeen for some reason. But, you know, that's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. All right.
You again? What now?
I'd like to pay my taxes, please. No taxes due. Hooray. Lovely. Lovely. Now let's go visit the House Atreides vendor. I'm still only 4, though. Again, we're getting there. I think it goes up to 6 as the max, like, thing you can get stuff. Wow, that's the max you can get things stuff. But no, I think 6 is the limit of, like, when it has different cargo.
Always good to see a familiar face.
Okay. Ooh, there's a buggy variant we can do. Okay. Okay, I'll think about that. There's a sandbike variant as well. Oh, that's a 5. Tragic. There's a Scout Ornithopter variant? How do I change that? Let me get this. I've already got the assault variant. I am gonna get it. I want to see what the ornithopter looks like. Oh, I thought I had this one already. I did not. Okay, well, we'll have to buy that when we can. Melee weapon swatch. And just for some stuff. I'm not worried about the money. Like, you can get Solaris very easily, very quickly. Lights hit. Ground vehicle swatch. Okay, thank you, sir. Is this what they look like? If so, that's pretty neat. Yee. Like I said, I'm not worried about the Solaris because the incomes, you get pretty quick income, especially if you do any amount of like base, and I don't mean like player base raiding, but I mean any normal like dungeon and outpost raiding. You get money pretty fucking quickly. Donkey.
How's it? You're back for more, eh?
$100. Wonder what my thing is at the moment. What's my blade at the moment? 69.6.
How's it? You're back for more, eh?
Yeah, I'll take the Viper. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Back to base. Get the hell out of here. I'll probably do a vault real quick that just has Solaris in it.
Can I fly you somewhere today? Music to my ears. Where do you want to go? The basin is a pretty big place. Zoe and I go back a long... Ever seen a thopter get snatched out of the air by a sandworm? That's why we're gonna fly real high on this. Okay. I want to say this is the trade post that actually had the Thufir's firearm, the weapon I'm using here. Thufir's best. Oh, you can set it as a respawn location. I didn't know you could do that. Okay. How do I... How do I change the variant of it? Is that something I need to dismantle it and then put it back together? Oh, customize. Here we go. Yeah, let's see what the thing looks like here. Okay. So, get a good look at it. Normal. And... boop! Ooh! It's a lot more, like, angular. See, this is kind of like flat. It just, like, it's got just a flat back, basically. All the way up to the front. And this... yeah. Yeah, I like it. Not bad. Not bad at all. What happens if you refuse to pay? Oh god, I don't know. It'd be funny if Sardaukar show up. Like, Sardaukar base raid you. I'd be like, fuck. That's a bit cruel, don't you think? This bike is an old one. It doesn't have a lot of good parts on it. See? Mark III, Mark III, Mark II, Mark 1. Like, this is an old workhorse bike. Right here, baby. It's an old beauty. With my new beauty. Ah. Okay, so I need to look up growling at me. Jasmium crystal. Okay. And then you are titanium ore and Shervidium. Oh, I see what you did. Yeah, so this will automatically force it into the thing you want. Yeah, that's very clever. Clever. Clever, clever. Okay, so jasmium ore. I guess I need to do a massive, I'll worry about it some other time, but I need to do a massive aluminum run. Get just metric shit tons of aluminum. Lorelei is currently doing the stuff to get us the death stills. Oh, we need agua. We'll have to work on some agua too. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That'll be something for me to do later. Alright, chat. In the meantime, hope you guys take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. I will see you back here tomorrow. Man, it feels good to have the base moved over. We'll get it all like looking spick and span and super nice and fancy. So that'll be for the future.
Yep. Yeah. At the end of the week, remember we're gonna do Dune Part 2 for Saturday Showtime. As for what we're streaming tomorrow, I got no idea. I kind of want to do Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer and see how that goes, you know? See if they advanced more or what they did. You know, I'm curious. I am very curious. Yeah. In the meantime, chat, bye-bye for now, everyone.